us soon. Alright, we're off. Our first opponent is Mr. Boo. And you can see it now, but as I mentioned, the game is heavily stacked in favor of the computer opponent in expert mode. The difference isn't extremely apparent now, but it will become far more apparent later. But the opponent starts with a much cleaner and shorter stack than you do, so you've got to work harder to clear things out as fast as possible. As I mentioned before, you can win in two ways, either by clearing out every monster on the board or by filling up your opponent's screen by attacking them with chains and large clears. For now, we're going to see a lot more of the former option because there's less stuff on the board, so it's easier to just clear it out than work on forcing your opponent to lose. But as we move on, we'll see more attempts at what we call a crush kill, which is dropping the swamp on your opponent's screen down on their head so they have nowhere else to go.
Also, if you guys are wondering for an account right now, I have 125, 126, 127.
Right. You see Montucky has just finished his second match versus Mr. Boo, as has cyghfer. So they're pretty close, only seconds apart at this point. Each opponent has to be defeated 3 times before they defeat you 3 times in order to move on to the next stage. If your opponent gets the best of you and in the best of 5, then you have to reset the stage and start over.
Yeah, the best of 5 format really makes this game, at least the playing through a run of this, a little bit longer than a lot of other versus com puzzle games, where it's only best of, either just best of, 1 match you win, that's it, or best of 3.
Yeah, you compare this to something like Puzzle League or Tetris Attack, where you only have to defeat an opponent once and move on. There are fewer opponents to fight in this run, but the run actually takes quite a bit longer. Right, we have cyghfer pulling ahead, defeating Mr. Boo and moving on to the cave stages. The first opponent is the mermaid Aqualea. And something that happened to cyghfer is that the opponent managed to get a chain reaction which dumped a big column of monsters of the same color on his screen. This can be a blessing and a curse, because obviously you don't want more monsters, but when you have all of the monsters lined up like that, you can clear them out all easily. And in that game, it's very important to do that, because clearing out a 5 or more in a row will give you a diamond, which will not only clear out all the monsters of the matching color on your screen when you use it, but it will also turn all the opponent spawns into monsters, which slows them down.
Cool. And note that the diamond will clear out all the monsters of that color on your side, but it will not clear the bombs of that color. So you might see, even though that if players have a certain color diamond that they could clear with just some monsters laying around, they might try to aim to get that cleared with a bomb instead, so they don't leave the bomb there. So that as long as the color exists on the board, that bomb, or in monster mode, a monster of that color can still fall.
That's right. So
usually in these runs, you don't want to get into monster mode, because that just slows you down. As not only does it slow you down in terms of having more monsters that you have to kill, but also, since 2 things are dropping at once because bombs are still dropping, it can fill your screen up very fast.
Yeah, so let's talk about monster mode, bomb mode, and monster mode. See, in the top center of the screen, there are these sort of timer bars filling up. When that bar fills up all the way, you will switch from bomb mode to monster mode, or vice versa. in bomb mode, you're only going to get bombs dropping from the screen. In monster mode, you'll get fewer bombs, and in addition, monsters will also fall from the top of the screen. So you want to try and finish the round before you go into monster mode. You can delay monster mode or speed up once you're in monster mode by clearing chains, which will reduce the timer or increase the timer depending on what's advantageous to you at that moment.
Yeah, Megamon chat. You create a diamond by clearing 5 in a row, so 4 monsters and a bomb would be the lowest to get for a diamond, and then just match that diamond in a stack of 3, which is the minimum to clear the diamond out. And you can create diamonds from diamonds, as Cypher just did, where if you stack a diamond and 4 monsters, that's 5, so that counts as a 5 clear.
Yes, and diamonds work just like bombs, so they can detonate monsters without the help of another bomb. Something that we've seen a couple times now, as I mentioned, is a crush kill, where our players have lowered the thwomp on their opponent's side so far that the opponent has nowhere to go, which instantly makes them lose. To do that, you need to clear many items in a row. So clearing a 4 in a row, and any combination of bombs or monsters will lower your opponent's thwomp by 1 row. Clearing a 5 in a row will lower it by 2, and clearing a 6 or more will lower it by 3. Your opponent has ways to bring the thwomp back up, either by making diagonal clears or clearing out lots of monsters in a row themselves. So you gotta sort of keep the pressure on. That's the tricky part of this run, is that once you've made the thwomp lower, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing it, otherwise they're just going to play defense and push the thwomp all the way back up, and then you just wasted a bunch of time you could have spent clearing more monsters more efficiently. Do not put me on pizza. The relevance of the arrow indicators on the monster in the middle, those are hints on how to clear the monsters. It doesn't really matter in this mode because there's only these kinds of monsters which can be cleared in any direction, but in the 2P versus mode in the round game, there are other types of monsters that have different rules. Like, you might only be able to clear them diagonally, and the arrow indicators would indicate that. Don't ask me why they decided to indicate that you can clear these in any direction by only showing the vertical direction, but that's what they are.
And there's some monsters that can only be cleared diagonal, and there's some monsters that need to be bombed twice to clear, but they never show up in versus comm.
Yep.
There is some sort of pattern to the bomb drops. I know that some other runners have studied that, so they know what would be coming next in terms of the bombs dropping. You can kind of count off by seeing what's coming, and then you can kind of guess what's coming next, basically.
Yeah. It's... No one knows exactly how it works, but in general, the bombs always drop in the same pattern every time. I have some notes on it, I could look it up, but occasionally, sometimes the pattern just breaks, and no one has figured out a good reason, so
yeah, like
personally, I assume it's just like,
something.
I assume it just chooses with no rhyme or reason when to break the pattern, just to make it more random. But
it's the same thing with starting patterns of monsters. There's only a set number.
That's right. Yeah, all starting boards were hand-designed by the developers and just exist in the ROM, so they're not randomly generated. And that's important because that means that the top runners can memorize the patterns and then come up with a strategy for each one individually and execute depending on which one comes up.
So we got both players moving on to the... What do you call these, mountain stages?
A mountain or canyon, I guess. I've heard both of those, and I don't see any reason why one is better than the other. This opponent is Thack. The most unpleasantly named opponent in this game, in my opinion.
See, even though that cyghfer was ahead for a while in stages, that Montucky's been able to catch up again. That's a big thing with this game, that it's very, very possible for turnarounds to happen quickly.
Oh yeah, this game can change its mind about how the run is going to go, and you have to be ready to take advantage of it. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. Current world record holder for, I believe, both expert and normal categories is Montucky.
Yeah, they're about, at least I looked on the expert mode, they're about a minute apart.
Right.
Montucky and cyghfer. Cyghfer is second place. And Montucky got that within the last few months, I believe.
Yeah, and he got world record at expert, I think, like a week ago or so. Yeah, as Jed's pointing out, we've heard our first utterance of breakfast recently. This game, there's a strangely named attack you can do called the breakfast attack, which you perform by clearing out 2 lines at once that share at least one bomber monster. So 2 lines that intersect each other. Doing so causes the game to say breakfast, and then drops an egg on your opponent's screen. And that egg, if left alone, will hatch and then cause a row of monsters to drop from the top of the screen, which is a little annoying to deal with. It's not as clean as getting the column that you get if you get hit by a chain. But if you get the egg on your side, you can break it by picking it up or putting it down or causing it to fall in some way, and then that will interrupt the attack, and you'll only get 1 monster instead of a whole row of them.
This game definitely has some interesting sound. I think someone earlier said the noise when it clears a gem. I always thought it was like a woof kind of sound, like a dog.
Hey, I can see that.
Sounded like Daffy Duck.
Yeah, I always thought it was just like a woo. I don't even know what word it's supposed to be. Yeah, this game's sound effects are one of the things that makes it so memorable. And these weren't in the NES version, but they're just voice clips that seem incredibly out of place for this game.
Oh, double breakfast.
Oh no, yeah. The double breakfast. If you clear 3 intersecting lines at once, you'll get 2 eggs instead of just 1. And that can be a little trickier to deal with, because normally, as long as you see it coming, and it's hard not to when the game yells breakfast at you, you can clear out the breakfast egg pretty easily. But once you get 2 or 3 at once, it can actually be a challenge to get to all those eggs and break them before they start doing damage.
Cyghfer was pretty close on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the second one, it was kind of close there.
We see Montucky has pulled ahead a bit. He was behind at the start, but he is currently in the middle of the second round versus a Lizardone, and cyghfer is just starting. It's extremely close still, but the lead has changed. Looks like Monty's going to get a good crush kill here. He just needs to make another 4, so it should be good. Yep, just like that. He's moving on to round 3. Yeah, cyghfer seems like he's setting up a 5 here for diagonal blue, which will drop the ceiling by 2 and also put him in a good position. And he's got Lizardone 2, or Lizardone 3 as well, both moving on to the next opponent, Sarissa. looks like Cypher's going to clear this first, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, this is about the
lead
time
has
where
changed again.
this is about the time where you can probably start going for. There's enough enemies on the screen, at least for the opponent now, where you can start aiming more for crush kills at the start instead of going for the all clear on your side.
Absolutely, because when there's more monsters on your side, and there's less space between the top of your opponent's starting stack and the thwomp, it becomes less desirable to clear your own screen and more desirable to just make the thwomp drop 3 or 4 rows right at the start to finish them instantly.
That was a bad crystal there, bad diamond there for Cypher. We're getting another white one.
Yes, unfortunately,
we got one white bomb on the screen.
Unfortunately, there is no currently known way to predict what color gem you're going to get or where that gem is going to appear.
Again, and then the opponent got a stack off, got a chain off, which gave him a white stack after he had cleared the diamond.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice pretty quickly if you watch the opponent's screens for a bit, is that the opponents are pretty dumb. They don't really know how to play the game very well. They're pretty good at playing defense, but most of the time they just stand there and watch things happen. So when the opponent somehow gets a big chain or a great attack, it can be a little surprising because it doesn't happen very often, and when it does happen, it can be devastating.
I've seen them in my play, even on. I haven't played expert in a speedrun yet, but I've seen them in just the normal difficulties. They get 2 chains off or something, and then you have to deal with 2 stacks to clear. And Cypher finally gets that pink there that he was waiting for.
Yep.
It looked like the pattern had reset, like you had been saying earlier. Bomb pattern reset.
So, Montucky is back in the lead, having finished Sarissa, and moving on to everyone's favorite Mangy Locks.
Mangy Locks being where the group stages ended.
Yep, this was the last
That was the end of the race. Oh, got a diamond off, Sarissa did.
Yep, that can happen. And again, when that happens to you, any bombs that are currently on your screen will turn to monsters, and that can be infuriating, especially if you are just about to end the stage. Alright, Cypher finishes off Sarissa, moving on to Mangy Locks. And they're both on the same stage, but obviously Monty is going to get the first round right now. Yeah, that's right. Speaking of Looney Tunes comparisons, Mangy Locks looks a lot like Gossamer. That is 100% true. This is not the final round of this category, but in the group stages, this is where the race is ended. There are 4 more after this.
The dreaded castle.
Yes. The castle stages where runs go to die. It looks like we're gonna have a hard-fought crush kill for Cypher. I'm not sure what Monty's gonna do here. It could go either way. He's currently in monster time, so you can see both monsters and bombs are dropping on his screen. So it's gonna be slow. Yes, we are playing the Super Nintendo release of Wario's Woods. Oh, look at that. Mangy Locks got a chain on Montucky, which put a bunch of white monsters right in his hand so he can instantly clear them out, get a blue diamond, which dropped into place for an instant clear.
It's beautiful when the opponents help you out like that.
Yep, sometimes. Just like in, again, another comparison to Dr. Mario in this game, sometimes your opponents will drop garbage on you, which then creates a huge chain, and ends up sending it right back to the opponent. And it looks like we're probably going to have just a regular clear from Montucky for Mangy Locks 3. He's got few enough monsters that that's going to be the optimal way to go.
There's definitely a lot of on-the-fly thinking I've found compared to... I mainly also speedrun Pokemon Puzzle League and Tetris Attack, where when you're working on your opponent, you just kind of, you know, send your first chain over or whatever, and then you kind of sit and wait in a way. You keep concentrating on yours, but with Wario's Woods, you really have to keep on track of where your opponent is. How many monsters do they have left? Where is their thwomp? In order to find out what's the best way that I can finish this off, depending on the amount of monsters that you have and how your things are going, basically.
Yeah, definitely. There's not one set strategy for this game. You have to decide based on what you're dealt, what you're given, the current state of the board, which way you're going to go. Because choosing wrong can end up losing you minutes at a time.
And both players are on the castle stage now.
Yes. One of the first challenges that any new Wario's Woods runner is going to face is trying to see the game with this garish Wario stained glass in the background.
Especially when you've been playing it for, you know, half an hour trying to get here. Your eyes are going crossed. I'd say my eyes start getting crossed about this time when running, because you got this crazy background there. You've been staring at it for a while, especially with all the bright colors, and the monsters are moving.
Yep.
So it's very easy for stuff to start blurring together.
Oh man, Cypher got one of the more annoying patterns in the game here, and there's really like not much you can do with it quickly.
Pick up and move a lot of stuff and clear lesser amounts. So he's going to stack up for a 5 diagonal on the yellows there, which was good. But a lot of times you just have to start clearing stuff down. Position where you can start making your 5 clears or any chains or whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the case for a lot of puzzle games, but this one is, in particular, it's not very colorblind friendly, unfortunately. Yes, this is the Super Nintendo version of the game.
Hello.
Alright, looks like Cypher is pulling ahead again. The lead has changed hands once more. Cypher moving on to round 2 versus Didar. Montucky still in round 1, and he's in a bad spot. He has a lot of monsters here, and Didar is about to finish his puzzle.
Yeah, and Montucky's in monster mode as well.
Yep. It's still possible to come back
from that green
this,
bomb.
He's got... Oh, man, that bomb dropped in a bad spot, too. Or the gem dropped.
Oh, what a bad gem.
He can still come back from this, but he has to act fast and get lucky. He's going to make a 6 here, and a little bit of a cheesy chain. Oh, that's good. See, now it's looking a little bit better.
Okay,
a cheesy 3 chain dropped a bunch of columns on his screen. It's filling up. He might actually get a crush kill here. Nice.
That's what we mean by paying attention to your opponent, that he knew that he had to set up that chain and get a diamond clear to get more monsters on the opponent's side there.
It's one of the things that really separates the best runners of this game from the middle of the pack, is being able to keep your cool in a situation like that and pull it back from the brink of disaster. Because I certainly think that if I was playing this, I would not have made it out of that alive.
No, I definitely, especially in this point in the castle after, you know, almost 25 minutes of playing.
Yeah, this game can be a little brutal. But it looks like Cypher's turn to be in trouble now. He's trying desperately to clear out those blues, but it's not happening. And meanwhile, Carlton is getting closer and closer to finishing his own puzzle.
Wow.
Oh, and that gem is buried. Oh, what's going to happen here? He's still got some time because, again, the opponents are bad at this game, but Carlton has 1 monster left. Oh no, and a column appears. Cypher is dumping garbage on him just in time, and he's getting the comeback. Wow. I think that one was looking even more dire than Monty's side, but he pulled it back. Just barely pulled off the crush kill. Stays alive. Stays in the lead.
That was a good one. Because it barely looked like Cypher had, I guess, started. And then all of a sudden, oh, the opponent is almost done. That's how, at this point, how much the handicap. Well, I guess handicap is with them. That how many more monsters you have on your side, rather.
Oh, man.
Whoever has it right, start singing. Yeah. No monster mountains.
Looks like Monty's gonna pull this off fine. It was looking a little sketchy, but he's got a bunch of big clears set up to drop the thwomp on him. Wins round game tourney. I don't know. That'd be interesting. The round game time has come down a lot, like in the past few days.
Yeah, I mean, I think PD just got the record twice.
Yep, I think it was like a 120 or so, something around there. I haven't cleared it in less than 2 hours myself.
I haven't played round game in this game. My mom was the big player of this game when we bought it. She'd always go for she wasn't much of a speedrunner, but she'd always go for like no death clears in this, and also she was a big Pokemon Puzzle League player as well.
Yeah, I know. In my family, didn't play a whole lot of this with my family, but yeah, we had a bit of a Puzzle League rivalry going on. That was fun. 122.39. Thanks. Cool. Do not put me on pizza. Like Cypher got hit with breakfast, but the egg dropped conveniently right on his head, so he was able to smash it, prevent the bad part of the attack from coming out. Both of our players are on the same round. Cypher's a bit ahead. Monty just starting round 3 versus Carlton, and Cypher is finishing it up.
Flip there by the gem getting cleared, but didn't phase him at all.
Yep. And Carlton is defeated on Cypher's side, moving on to the second to last opponent, Harry H.
So as you can see, more rows. It's like 1, 2, 3, 5. To count on my screen, 5 extra rows of monsters that you start out versus the enemy in this stage here.
Yep.
And
so this is where the game gets insane, I think.
Basically, there was enough room for Toad, 1 row for Toad, and then 1 extra row for the bombs to drop on. So if you don't start clearing down fast, you will get stuck very quickly.
Yep. You'll just get suffocated by the bombs dropping and have nowhere to move. Oh no. See, this is tricky.
The world record for expert mode is 3120 by Montucky, set 4 days ago. In the normal mode, it's a 2117, also set by Montucky. So he is the world record holder for both categories of versus com.
Alright. So, Montucky moving on to Harry H as well. He was set pretty far behind by a loss to Carlton. He's currently 2 rounds behind Cypher. You can see by the stars in the middle. And we're nearing the end of the game. So, Montucky has got a bit of catch-up to do if he wants to take this first round. But between Harry H and Wario, anything can happen at this point. Including, like, the dreaded loss to the opponent where you lose the best of 5 and have to start over, which we often refer to as getting gouted by the sound the boss makes when it happens to you.
There's a couple instances I saw there with Cypher where he lifted something over his head and the fairy tried to drop and then couldn't drop anything,
Mm-hmm.
which can be kind of annoying if you happen to be counting on something dropping soon because you notice what pattern it was going.
And then you accidentally cancel one. Yeah, it's happened to me before lots of times. It's happened to everyone who runs this game lots of times, and it's not fun.
And now being in monster mode. Gem drop, though.
In case anyone hasn't noticed, an easy way to tell whether you're in bomb mode or monster mode is to look at the character at the top of the screen. If it's the sprite, you're in bomb mode. If it's the raven / bat, depending on how you feel about it. Yeah, then you're in monster mode.
The other thing I don't, but am not used to with this game is the sudden diagonals that you can get sometimes.
Yes.
Not paying attention where something drops, clears diagonally, and you're trying to plan something. So
yeah, absolutely.
One of the few games, I guess, that has diagonal clearing. I know Columns is another one that has diagonal clearing. It also throws me off because I do Columns variant that I speedrun as well.
Yeah, I can't think of any others, any other games like this that use diagonal clears. And it's important because, like, again, Toad being a cursor, constrained by gravity, can't move into other pieces. You're really a lot more restricted with where you can go and what you can do in a lot of games, so it's important to have that kind of freedom in how you can clear the monsters. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, that can lead to a lot of accidental clears when you didn't want them to happen. You could be like getting ready to drop a bomb to create a 5 in a row. Oh, and I'll interrupt myself to show. Yeah, montucky got hit with a breakfast, but he got the crush kill anyway, so it's fine. Moving on to Wario.
Hello.
So he's caught up a bit. They're both on the same round versus Wario.
Yeah, cyghfer had a little trouble there at the start with Wario, almost dying. He was trapped in that area until a good bomb drop happened. Still waiting for something, waiting for a pink, it looks like.
Yep, a good diagonal clear from cyghfer.
Cool.
Man, he's just hanging on by a thread. Wario's almost done, but cyghfer just keeps dropping monsters on his board just as he's about to finish it. It's pretty much what you gotta do versus Wario. You're at such a disadvantage that you're on the edge of losing all the time. But it looks like he's going to get a crush clear. Oh no, Wario lifts the ceiling. Is he gonna bring this back?
Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh no, Wario takes that round versus cyghfer. That puts him pretty far behind, given that montucky has just finished his first match versus Wario.
Very interesting board start. I haven't seen that one with the long drop on the one side yet. This match.
In my opinion, that's the best pattern you can get versus Wario, because you have a lot of room to move.
It's a little more free, definitely, than some others.
You can.
And note there are. I don't think we explained this before. There are two different. You can use your A button and your B button. They're both lift stacks, but they do it differently. So you're gonna have to help me here. But one of them lifts only the one monster in front of you, and the other one lifts the entire stack in front of you.
Yep, you press A to lift the whole stack and B to lift one.
That's how
and it also works when you're holding stuff. You can press A to put down your whole stack, or B to put only the bottommost monster that Toad is holding down. How does the thwomp work? The thwomp, you can lower the thwomp by clearing lots of things in a row. So if you get 4 in a row, you'll drop your opponent's thwomp by 1. 5 in a row drops your opponent's thwomp by 2. 6 or more in a row drops your opponent's thwomp by 3. If your thwomp is lowered, you can raise it by clearing a diagonal clear or by clearing 4 or more in a row yourself.
No Wario up.
Wario gets a second win versus cyghfer, as Monty gets his second win versus Wario. This is pretty big. Montucky is looking good. Monty getting that quick 5 clear, puts himself in a good spot.
Good gem drop as well.
Man, this is great. The lead has changed so many times. It looks like Monty's going for the crush kill versus Wario. he going to take the first round? Yep, he's got it. Montucky wins. With a race PB even.
Oh, nice.
Official SRL time of 35:11. Fantastic. Montucky is taking round 1. Cypher choosing to forfeit instead of playing this out.
Honestly, considering how long,
Mm-hmm.
how long it's been, it's already been 35 minutes of playing. Give your eyes a rest. You have another match to do still.
Yeah, Wizrobe, that's a good question. Yeah, the first rounds of this game are in the woods, but we're skipping the first rounds because we're starting on hard mode instead of easy mode.
In the woods, so
I guess yeah, that's true.
We start in the woods, and then I haven't played from easy in so long. You start in the woods, and then you go to the
like sort of bridges area where you
bridges
fight
across
Boo.
area, and then there's the canyon, or the caves, and then the canyon, and then the castle. So
just sort of imagine that however it works. The point is the castle's in the woods.
It's woods, and he has a castle to stake his claim on it.
Sure.
That's how it works. Like the credits, you can see don't see in the speed run.
Yep. I even remember most of their names.
I don't know them either.
Let's see, yeah, that guy with the Viking hat, he's Sven, I believe. I think that's
Isn't Kirby's Avalanche similar, where the harder difficulty just starts you on a later level?
I actually do not know. I have not played Kirby's Avalanche.
It's been a while.
Played a lot of Puyo Puyo, but yeah, not that one.
My Kirby's Avalanche cart does not work very well.
Oh, that's sad.
So it has my Wario's wood, so doesn't work too well. It has very interesting graphical glitches. It's still playable.
Yeah, I've watched you play
races.
it. Yeah, it looks a little wacky.
A little wacky looking, but it works. It's the SNES. It's not the cart.
I choose not to play Kirby Puyo because I don't want to see Kirby just being a big meanie to everyone.
You know, he's so mean in Avalanche. It's kind of funny.
We should play Puyo later, Wizrobe. Yeah, I'm down.
I need to pick up Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yes, you do. That's great.
I don't have a Switch yet, but that's the system I was
You can't get it on PS4 if you have that.
I could get it on PS4, but I think most of my friends have it on Switch. Also, portability.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, I wish I knew. Do not put me a pizza. I would love to see this game get remade.
This and also another interesting puzzle game by Nintendo is Yoshi.
Yeah,
which
that's
also
fun.
doesn't really have any new. It has a couple. I think it has a virtual console release. I don't know which. I think is it the NES version that has? I know I had the Game Boy version of Yoshi. I think it's also on the NES.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the NES version is on the virtual consoles. But it looks like we are off.
And we're starting.
Yeah, Chase, there's Puyo Puyo Tetris on Switch. I think there's also a Soldum game that's coming to Switch if it's not out already. You got a couple options.
Cool.
We are back to the sane levels.
Yes, see, this looks so much so friendly and so nicely, slowly paced compared to what we were just watching in the castle.
Especially with the drop speed of the
Mm-hmm.
monsters. It's very what's the word?
It's a bit of a shock to go back to
Yes,
this.
it's a little bit of a shock.
after playing in the castle, because you don't really notice it as you go on because the speed increase is pretty gradual. But like when you go back to playing the first stages after finishing a run, you like become very aware of how much faster it gets at the end. Another thing I believe happens is that the speed increases when you switched from monster mode to bomb mode. It goes up to the next level. I might be wrong about that, but as the match goes on, and hopefully it doesn't go on that long if you're doing a speed run.
It does. The longer the match goes on, the faster, very gradually, it pops. I've noticed it just because my matches tend to go longer than most speedrunners. I think my best time in versus Calm is like an hour in some, just over an hour.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're memeing or not, but I have not played much of Yoshi's Cookie, so I don't have much of a comment on it.
Oh man, Yoko is solid esports.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I love Yoko too.
It's FFR Pro!
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, so I had to get food.
That's
Which is why I missed game 1.
Yes, montucky won game 1. The lead changed hands several times over the course of the race. It was very exciting.
Including right at the
start this
end.
match.
Yeah, cyghfer got a loss against Wario when montucky got his first win. And then cyghfer lost again against Wario.
Oh, that's no fun.
He is definitely another unique puzzle game, especially the two-player versus mode with its ways that you can hurt the opponent or actually help yourself depending on when you clear lines. It's very unique. And something you need to pay attention to. But this is not Yoshi's Cookie, this is Wario's Woods.
Yes. And so montucky fell a bit behind with a single loss to Mr. Boo. But they're both on Aqualea now. cyghfer 2 rounds ahead. Nice. See that? Montucky got 2 quick diagonal 6s into a chain with 2 gems, instantly crushing Aqualea.
It's always gonna get a crush kill this early on, when there's still not too many things on the screen and everything's still dropping kind of slow.
Have we ever played Puzzle Fighters? I can't speak for anyone else here. I have played it. It's really fun. I never got good at it though.
Never played Puzzle Fighter. I got heavily into Magical Drop at SGDQ this year.
And Magical Drop, that's a game I haven't played.
I was obsessed with that arcade cabinet.
Yeah, the only problem was I didn't like playing with the stick.
My wrist definitely hurt after playing on stick like that.
Yeah, which is always kind of why I prefer the SNES controller.
So it looks like cyghfer is maintaining his 2-fight lead on montucky right now. Monty's on Aqualea 3, while cyghfer is on Razor 2. Unfortunately, 2 pink gems for montucky. It's not all that helpful to get multiple gems of the same color.
Yeah, it's a little bit of bad luck, but
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Oh man. And a 3 chain from the opponent on Monty's side dumps a bunch of monsters on him. It looks like he's able to use that to his advantage. Unfortunately, Aqualea playing excellent defense and refusing to get crush killed, just dragging this out even longer. That was unfortunately a slow round for Monty.
Forcing him to go for them all clear on his side.
It's one of these things about this game, I've alluded to it a couple times, but the AI is a lot better at playing defense than offense, which can be infuriating at times. certainly doesn't help that it's a lot easier to raise your flomp than it is to lower the opponent's. But a full screen clear from Cypher to finish off Razor. He's moving on to Tad Rock just as Monty finishes the first round against Razor.
Like most puzzle games, you can hold down your down button to speed up the drop speed a little bit. So Cypher was probably doing that while he was waiting for that. Was it I think it was a red bomb he was waiting for? He cleared it already. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it was a red. So green and red are the rarest colors in the game because of how the bomb drop randomization. I can't remember the whole pattern off the top of my head, but green is the first one in the drop pattern, and red is the second, which means that you're only ever going to see a green if the pattern decides to reset to it, and red is only slightly more likely to appear, because that's the next one in the pattern. So waiting on a green and red like Cypher did can waste a lot of time, but I think it was probably the best option for him at that moment because it led right to the win. Why do the big rows of one color appear on someone's screen? That happens if you get a chain reaction. You dump a bunch of monsters like that on your opponent's screen. It can be a good thing or a bad thing. Bad because it's more monsters and it can take up space, especially if you don't have much space already. But a good thing because if you line up a bunch of monsters like that, it's easy to clear it and attack your opponent right back.
Yeah, it's that sort of double-edged sword effect when you send monsters to your opponent.
Mm-hmm. So qualities of many of the best puzzle games is that when you get hit and you're closest to death is when you're most powerful. So giving your opponent a lot of material can be very dangerous if you don't finish them off in the process.
Just going for the five clear on the swag there, just because why not? Cypher's on to into the mountain stages in fact here.
I'm sorry, Elcat Mastercat. The gist is that you get chain reactions to make those columns appear on your opponent's side. That's all there really is to it.
So I think Cypher's trying to set up for a chain right here. Waiting for the red bomb to.
So just watch it here.
There it is. The green, the red.
Ooh, nice 3-chain there.
And for each chain you get, so once you chain two clears in a row, it gives 1 stack. Clearing gives two stacks to your opponent. Or to you if your opponent's doing it, which is super annoying.
And really, to make a chain actually effective, you need to get like a 3 or 4 chain. To make it effective as an attack anyway, you need to get a 3 or 4 chain because that just disrupts your opponent's space so much that it actually does slow them down. But, of course, as we mentioned way earlier in the stream, clearing a chain will make bomb time last for longer or make monster time last for not as long. It resets the timers at the top of the screen. So even clearing a 2-chain can be really advantageous for you just because it lets you stay in bomb time, avoid monster time, have more stuff to blow up with, and less monsters to get rid of.
Whoa!
Cypher getting chained against, and also had a Brackestag there. Quite easily.
Montucky cleanly clearing out the yellow color using both gems and 1 bomb. That resets the opponent's bombs, turning them into monsters, but doesn't do anything else for him. Besides getting rid of the yellow color, so yellow will no longer appear on his side of the screen.
You can just use plain bombs to set up quick chains or practice. Like, could you do a practice with bombs? I guess
Yes,
you
you
could, but you
can.
really wouldn't. But
it's generally not a great idea because you'd rather be clearing monsters out.
you'd rather be clearing monsters. But there are times where if you're just if you're just waiting for that one color bomb, it is advantageous to just clear off the bombs. Maybe if you can get a 5 in a row, or get a chain off of 2-3 clears of bombs.
Yep. And chains and large clears made with only bombs are just as valid as ones only made with monsters.
Sweet.
Alright, so fortunately it looks like Monty's lagging behind a little bit more than he was before, just barely, but he's probably about 2.5 stages behind now. Which we had some bad luck and some tough rounds is setting him back against Cypher here.
An early loss doesn't help at all.
Yeah, for sure.
These middle stages, though, it's a lot less common, at least I've found in my own play, to lose in the middle stages than it is for the early or later ones. Just with the later ones, with it's more likely that you end up not clearing stuff in time.
Mm-hmm.
But in the earlier ones, it's your opponent that clears its stuff first.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, it's true even in normal mode, but even more in expert, that the middle of the game is the easiest part, and the beginning and end are much more difficult for different reasons. Montucky's up against the top of the screen here. He raises the ceiling, he looks like he's got some breathing room now. Well, Cypher uses the diamond to get a 3-chain, dumps a bunch of monsters on the lizard on there. Looks like he's going to finish this off with a nice full screen clear. Moving on from Lizardone to Sarissa.
Whenever I hear Lizardon, I think of Charizard.
Yep, it's the exact same name as
That's
Charizard.
Charizard's Japanese name.
Yeah, I often refer to him as Charizard, just because of that.
Charizard or a Barney ripoff.
Yeah, it's the Barney the dinosaur with a horn. Oh man, unfortunately, Lizardone takes a win versus Monty, slowing him down even further. Meanwhile, Cypher shows no signs of stopping. Clearing out those light blues, clearing out the dark blues.
He is in monster mode, though.
Yes, they
We'll
just
have to
need the
work
red,
a
and it
little
might
bit
be coming
harder.
next. Yep, there's the red. Right on time, right after the green drop, you get a red. And he's gonna clear the greens out, so now, yep, he's just gonna use that diamond and finish it off.
Sweet.
Very, very nice.
Meanwhile, Monty takes his first win versus Lizardone, uses the well there to get a nice column of 5 to get a diamond, clear out the rest of the reds. That's pretty much textbook how you want to deal with this pattern.
Yeah, I've always liked the patterns that have the empty well.
Mm-hmm. You have so much freedom.
Especially when later on, when you need as much room as you can get.
Yeah, that's true. Sarissa did almost win that one. That's going to be the case for a lot of these. Like, all the matches are going to appear very close because the opponent starts so much closer to winning than you do from the very beginning. It's always uphill battles from here on out.
It gets very, very obvious once we hit the castle stages, where Yeah, I think I counted where it was at Wario. You had 5 there than your opponent does.
Yeah, there are some patterns that can show up versus Wario where Toad literally has nowhere to move, and you have to start by kicking something out of the way. Like, that's how unbalanced it can get.
Yeah, you know, Wario has been known to cheat in video games.
Uh-huh.
So,
It's Wario's MO in general.
It's very much in character for him to be the final boss of the most unfair mode in puzzle game history.
Cool.
Looks like Cypher's trying to make some chains here to slow down Sarissa immediately. That's like the fastest way you can slow down your opponent, is to make a chain, dump a column on them. But of course it's dangerous because they might turn around and hit you back with it. Meanwhile, Monty gets his first win versus Sarissa with a crush kill. He's catching up. He's only 1 fight behind now.
Yeah, going from, what was he say, 2.5? It was almost 3 at one
Yeah,
point.
it was just about 3, 1 whole opponent behind, but now he's only 2 fights behind, so he's closing the gap. As Cypher moves on to Mangy Locks.
Final stage of the
yes.
canyon levels here.
Yep. Mangy Locks gets a breakfast. Cypher quickly clears it out so he doesn't get in trouble.
Oh, Maggie-Locks is clearing a lot on Cypher's side.
He's got to get some chains quick.
I blinked and all of a sudden he's got just a few.
But he can't seem to find anywhere to make a chain. He's got to at least clear that diamond out. Or this diamond. He can use this diamond to delay it a bit, change all his bombs into monsters. What is the world in that thing? Given his name is Mangy Locks, I think we're supposed to believe he is a ball of hair.
You see, he's that Looney Tunes character that's just that giant hairy monster.
It's Gossamer. Same idea. And a crush kill to finish off Sarissa on Monty's side.
Cool.
Yes, just as Cypher takes game 1 on Maggie-Locks' side.
Also with the crush kill. Came back from almost a loss there.
Megama, that is correct. Clearing out a diamond on your screen turns all your opponent's bombs into monsters. At least all the ones that are currently in the air. Or currently not in the air. If a bomb is falling, it won't be turned into a monster. But anything on the ground will be turned into a monster. So that's another way you can slow down your opponent, which is always important in expert mode.
Very nice crush kill by Cypher.
Maintaining a lead, still about 2 fights ahead as montucky finishes up this round versus Mangy Locks. Not getting that red. There's the red.
Not put me on pizza. It said anything you can do to your opponent can do back to you. So they can get, if they're lucky, because they're not really that smart. If they're lucky enough to get a gem, then you get all your bombs turned to monsters, or you get that stack thrown on your screen.
That's the thing. The AI in this game either makes really smart moves extremely slowly or really dumb moves very quickly. It's always one or the other, and neither of them are, of course, great.
Sweet.
Mangy Locks is down on Cypher's screen as montucky's working on the second round for Mangy Locks. Cypher is in the castle versus Didar. Cypher having some trouble here, waiting for the white. There's the white.
Okay. You got the white.
Yeah,
I didn't even see the white. I'm bad. I'm seeing the red. I saw the red setup.
Yeah. So he was doing a thing that you sometimes have to do when the game speed increases as fast, where you have to sort of defend a well from the bombs of other colors dropping in there. It's like he needed a white to drop there, but if any other color dropped in there, the puzzle would be pretty much locked and he wouldn't have much of a hope. So he was, like, hopping in and out of the pit, bailing out bombs of colors that weren't white in order to just wait it out. Oh, a double breakfast, and Cypher deals with it. That's good.
Got it.
Cool.
Getting a hit with a double breakfast is always scary, because if the eggs appear on opposite sides of the screen and you've still got a lot of stuff in the way, it can be very difficult to get to both of them in time.
Sweet.
Clears the screen to move on to DDR 2. Montucky took a loss versus Mangy-Lox. So unfortunately, the gap has widened a bit.
Something to watch out for while talking about like defending certain wells for clears is when you're running up a stack, because you can do that vertical run up a stack to grab stuff. If the fairy or crow drops something on you, you're gonna catch that and you're gonna fall all the way back down.
Yep, you cannot climb while you're holding anything. So if you're forced to hold something, you're fallen to the ground. But even if you're falling while you're holding something, you can still drop something onto a column that's no more than 2 higher than your current position.
A slam dunk. Because it looks like you're, doing some sweet basketball moves there.
It's a cool. There's a move you do often in this run that feels really cool to pull off, where you run up a stack, pull something out of the stack, and then turn around and dunk it in the other direction in midair. And Cypher extracting the green bomb to clear the 5. Unfortunately, it's not going to be easy to clear that gem right now. He's got to get some stuff out of the way first. Looks like he's setting up for a diagonal. And he's cleared out the yellow gem, and then gets a chain, and then another chain. That was great. And a breakfast.
That was really good.
Breakfast there too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the opponent broke it open, but he did get that breakfast with the yellow clear at the start.
And DDR goes back with another breakfast, but Cypher clears out it easy. Only one on a mostly empty screen is not much of a threat at all. Unfortunately, man, Mangy-Lox still walling Monty, defending the castle.
Yeah, he's put up a tough front.
Earning his paycheck.
That's for sure. I believe that is a stained glass window that is intentionally extremely ugly and hard to look at in order to confuse people that would invade his castle. That's my headcanon about the stained glass window.
I never said Wario had good taste.
Yeah, that's for sure. It looks like Monty is going to finish off Mangy-Lox finally. A 3-2.
Squeaking it
Hard
out.
fought win. It's a win nonetheless, so he's going to keep moving, but it was so slow that he's got a very uphill battle.
And that breakfast open there by Cypher. Just saw it starting to shake.
Why is the computer getting such an easy puzzle? That is expert mode. Unfortunately, they didn't make the AI any more difficult for expert mode. They only put the player at a huge disadvantage instead. So if you play normal mode, like, you're going to get the same puzzle as your opponent every time. In expert mode, you're always going to get a much harder puzzle than your opponent. And that's where the expert difficulty comes from. Everything else about expert mode is the same as normal. It's just you get unbalanced puzzles at the start, and the music is worse.
Montucky with a total crush on
Yep.
Dita there. Very nice.
Oh yeah, doesn't this play the? I don't have the sound on, so I can't hear. But
It
the
plays the
expert
victory
mode plays the
theme.
it plays the victory
Yeah.
theme over and over and over again.
Yep. And the victory theme, I think, was not meant to be listened to for minutes at a time.
Cool.
This is a little better than I don't know than Yoshi's Cookie secret mode, where you have to turn the sound off completely to access it.
Huh. That's strange.
All the setup is, but one part of it involves going to options, turning the sound off, changing some other settings, and then you get a bunch of extra stages or puzzles to solve.
Alright, well, Cypher has defeated Carlton, is moving on to Harry H, the
This
second to
word.
last opponent.
Where it really starts getting tough, because you
Yeah.
start the salt to start there. One, you have 5 rows higher than the opponent, and 2, you only have two slots at the top, enough for you to run around and enough for the bombs to drop in.
Yep. This is the point where you can just randomly get killed and have like no way of preventing it. If the opponent decides to be smart that day, creates a 4 in a row right away, then all of a sudden you have no room to move. You can only kick bombs to move them, and you're probably just going to lose. Why would they do that though? Because like the AI in normal mode is really bad enough as it is, and this is a very complex game. So I have a feeling that they probably decided it wasn't worth the time or effort to come up with a smart AI for this game that wouldn't like slow the game down because it takes so long thinking about what to do. It's not developing an AI for this game is not a task I would want to do, that's for sure.
And Cypher could get a really fast fight here on Harry,
Oh yeah,
Cool.
and he's
definitely.
going to get it.
Started off with the long column, with the long column there, and then the chain he had filling up his screen. Dr. Mario level 20 shenanigans, yes.
This is very, very apt comparison. So clearing out all those yellows, it's a very nice color gem to see.
Cool.
With 3 colors left for Monty in this round. And Cypher seems to have done a good job of slowing Harry down, given that they're about equal.
Unlucky stack that he got tossed in his hand there, it looked like, but he was able to salvage it. And then an unlucky bomb drop preventing him from clearing those whites right away, but he gets a chain off. Because the game pauses when stuff is clearing, you can get chains by ways like Cypher had just did there.
Yep. You just have to like grab something and then put it down to create a clear before the stuff above it falls, and then that counts as a chain because this game barely works.
Ooh, getting diamondized there. Use an earthbound term.
Alright, slowing Harry down a bit more with a diamond clear. Well, Monty does the same to Carlton on his side. Like Monty's gonna get a breakfast here. Oh, but stopped just at the last second by a diamond clear from Carlton.
Yeah.
It's gotta be frustrating. That would have been, if Monty had got that out just a bit sooner, that would have dropped the Carlton Swamp by 2 rows. It would have cleared, or it would have transformed all the bombs on his side into monsters, and it would have dropped a breakfast egg.
And Cypher's on to Wario.
Yep. This is the final stage. Looks like Cypher's
wow,
going to be
Wario-
taking this one. He's
I just noticed that
extremely
Wario
far
starts
ahead
out
at this
with only 3
Yep.
stacks.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it was that
yeah,
lopsided. Wow.
he is that big of a cheater.
So Cypher having to shuffle things around to get a 5 clear, but he pulls it off, clears that diamond. Unfortunately, there was only one bomb, and the important one was in the air and already falling, so the diamond didn't do much besides clear out some monsters on Cypher's side. He's gonna try again. It gets another white one. That's not great. It helps, but it might not be enough. Setting up a column of 5. He already has a green bomb, so he doesn't need to wait for it. Gets a chain to stop Wario in the meantime. Turns it into a 6.
A chain to help.
Unfortunately, Wario's board is looking good. He's got to crush him. Oh, that's great.
Wow.
And
Lowest crush kill possible.
Yep.
That's very good. Very. They take a while, but.
And Wario not moving from that spot makes it unwinnable for him. Like, he needs to walk to the left in order to finish this puzzle, but he's refusing to do it, giving Cypher enough time to finish his board off. This is an example of the AI being extremely dumb.
Yeah, it's extremely
Yeah.
dumb right here, definitely.
All he had to
That
do was
was-
walk all the way to the left, and then he could kick a bomb to the right to finish it, but he just did not see that as an option.
Yeah, unfortunately the AI is just not programmed to do that in such a case.
Wario needs to cheat because he's bad at the game. Alright, montucky getting his first win versus Harry. He's about 3 fights behind at this point with not much of the game left to go.
Sweet.
And Cypher on the last fight. He needs one more win to take round 2 and force us to game 3.
Cool.
Yeah, well, Elbat Mastercat, Wario is the star of this game. I think he should know how to play it.
Sorry for getting some good change there.
Yeah.
Looks like it's about to be over.
Crush kill.
Wario. Yeah,
Since
there we
the
That's a
go.
very
crush
top.
kill.
Yep.
And Cypher finishes in first place with an SRL time of 33 minutes and 50 seconds. That was really good. That is a great time. We are going to game 3.
Yeah, third and deciding game.
Mm-hmm. Montucky is forfeited, and we're going to be moving on to game 3 in just a moment. Looks like, yeah, our competitors are going to take a quick break, just a few minutes. They deserve it. This has been a hard-fought match so far. This run, expert mode, can be very, very tiring. So it's a good thing that our competitors are going to take a moment to refresh. Shake it off so they can be at 100% in our final deciding game. The entire tournament comes down to this. Yes, round game does have speedruns. There actually wasn't a lot until recently, but interest in the mode has picked up the last few days, and the best time has come down a whole lot. I think we looked it up earlier and saw that the current world record for round game is about 122. That's clearing every round from 1 to 99 and getting to the credits.
Yes. Yeah, PD Boo actually got that think earlier today, I believe.
Yeah, this so yeah, round game is active.
Cool.
And if anybody's interested in playing the NES Wario's Woods, there are quite a few round game categories to play from.
Yep. If you want to play Wario's Woods in any form, probably the easiest way is to get the NES version on the 3DS or Wii U Virtual Console. Pretty cheap.
Yeah,
But,
unfortunately,
that game doesn't have. Yeah, it doesn't.
Unfortunately,
have
the SNES version is not on Virtual Console, so if you want to play it legally, quote unquote, you would need to get a SNES and get the cart.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this game is just not available on the Virtual Console yet, given that it's arguably the more full-featured and stable version of the game.
It might be. I don't know. It might have to. I don't know if it has to do with the fact this version was released in Japan, but I think it was Satellaview download, possibly.
So they released this game again in Japan on Satellaview with I think it was a pair of Japanese comedians as the main characters. Like, they released this version of the game and then that one later as a promo on Satellaview.
I don't believe a cart of the SNES version came out in Japan. So I think they really only got the NES one, but it's most interesting ones.
Yeah. Why the egg didn't spawn the line of monsters. If you can get to the egg and then pick it up and put it down or cause it to drop in any way, you will break the egg before it hatches, which prevents the line of monsters from appearing. If you just leave the egg to do what it wants, it will hatch and then create a line of monsters.
Yeah, Wario has a woods, Luigi has a mansion, Mario
has a party?
Mario has a party, and golf, and carts, and Mario runs the racket of the town, apparently.
Yeah, Mario does have a run now on the iPhone and Android. While Luigi has pinball.
Mario has a missing, yes. And a time machine. He's a time machine, too.
Yeah.
Yoshi has a cookie? Yeah, that's good. I wouldn't mind a cookie.
Yeah, Yoshi has a safari, too.
Yeah,
and
Yoshi
an
has
island.
A safari. Right? Mario has Sunshine. Daisy gets nothing.
Sunshine
Daisy has a cruiser, man.
Odyssey soon.
Daisy has a cruiser.
Cool. Cool. Score. Cool.
I guess Daisy does have her own kingdom from the original Mario Land game, huh?
Yeah, Sarasa Land. Looks like montucky is teaching himself how to play the game again, going through the tutorial.
Yeah.
I'm just not entirely sure how to play the game. It is fun to watch that chain.
Yeah, Daisy's kingdom is called Sarasa Land. Alright, looks like the race is getting set up. Montucky's ready to go. I think Cypher is getting ready. Oh, Cypher is also teaching himself how to play.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Just have to be 100% sure.
Man. He's showing us a really cool chain. That was awesome.
100% sure that you can play this game.
Yeah, that's another thing you can do. Like, it's totally useless, but Toad can, like, grab onto the edges of the arena. You just hold the A button and Toad just holds onto the wall and doesn't move. And Freezard B with the Mario Land Link to the Past crossover with Sahasra Land. I see what you did there. Alright. Yeah, stages are skipped on hard. I think it's either 6 or 8. I think it's 6. The first 6 stages are skipped on easy and normal. Or skipped on hard.
There's no difference between them. It's just, 6 more stages to go through.
Mm-hmm. And this is already a pretty long run for a puzzle game, so we just play on hard because it's the fastest way to complete the game.
Yeah. Yeah, easy and normal are not actually easier. You just start off on
just
an
longer
easier stage.
Alright,
Your stage
both of our
less
opponents
stuff
are
slower,
ready.
so
Yeah.
We have the countdown in SRL, so we will be seeing our opponents start the race quite soon. Yeah, all the starting enemies are kind of Halloween themed. Alright, we are off.
Here we go, game 3. It's for all the marbles.
Yes, this is the entire championship comes down to this one last match.
Cool.
The 2 best players of Wario's Woods here. Who's going to be crowned the victor of the first ever Wario's Woods tournament? Looks like Montucky gets a very nice and quick Mr. Boo 1.
Hello.
Got the early lead.
Oh,
wow. That's
Diamond
brutal.
hang on.
enemy AI playing smart there, getting
Yeah.
the chain and the diamond. Cypher is approaching monster mode here pretty quickly, but gets it just in time.
Just in time. Is this game RNG? It's less RNG than you might think, based on looking at it, because the starting patterns are not randomly generated, so you can come up with a strategy for each of them. Not to say that there isn't any RNG, of course, but I mean, if you want proof of it, just like the best players, the 2 best players of the game ended up in the finals. There were pretty much no upsets in the entire tournament.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of boards programmed in the game that can start with. There's a certain bomb order that goes in a pattern. It can be reset and moved around a little bit. So it's less RNG than some other puzzle games. A lot of skill.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different skills, especially comparing games. Montucky's onto the caves now.
So yeah, some of the opponents, like, when they say hello, they do kind of like, yellow, but they're just saying hello but being strange about it.
Montucky getting a really fast first fight.
I think we saw that from him on the last match. He got that same pattern, did the exact same thing. So that's an example of how consistent you can get this game, despite how random it is. He did the exact same thing on that board as he did last time, that worked out the exact same way because he has played this game so much. He knows all the starting patterns, he knows at least his favorite way to tackle everyone. No, no. That's not evidence of splicing.
He's just totally playing back his last match video. While we just sit and commentate on it.
I'm not sure that's the best strategy.
He got revenge on Mr. Boo this time, so it's already off to a much better start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Montucky
he's
is pulling ahead very fast with a great lead.
Warmed up.
Yep, finishing off
Yeah.
Aqualea just as Cypher gets his first win on her. Yeah, montucky getting easy chain there.
Cool.
Another easy chain,
Oh, dang.
slowing down Razor. He just can't do anything, he doesn't have enough space.
Oh yeah, Montucky's just taking it all
Yeah.
out now.
Just totally brutalized Razor there. Monty seriously wants to win this. Are there campgrounds in Wario's Woods? I don't know.
It's just the forest. It's nice. Well, I guess once all the, I mean, maybe it's nice woods.
Yeah. I think, yeah,
That's where the plot is,
story,
like,
yeah,
the story.
the story of this game is that, like, these woods were inhabited by, like, the race of fairy people that, the sprite at the top of the screen is. And then Wario came with all his monsters and kicked all the fairies out and made the woods terrible. And Toad is going to be the liberator of the fairy people.
I guess all these people that you fight against are like Wario's buddies or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Before he ended up making his mini games. All those
Yeah.
characters from that. They should have reused some
Yeah, like, some of these
Between-
characters are actually
between
kind of...
Wario's Woods and
Yeah.
WarioWare or some of the other games that Wario with platformers that he was in.
But
That would've been
instead of a Wario's Woods sequel, all the Wario Land 3 characters got put in Dr. Mario 64.
Sweet.
Figure that one out.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe there's gold underneath the woods somehow.
Maybe
that's why he's
secret
here.
treasure. Maybe it's all the diamonds that you generate.
Yeah, all the diamonds. He just wants the precious gems.
Cool.
Alright, good chain from Monty. Slowing down Tad Rock, put something in his way.
Cool.
Meanwhile, Cypher is trying to crush Razor here, but Razor's playing good defense and raising the swamp, which frustrates those efforts. Like, Monty's waiting for that pink bomb, and he gets it. Well, I mean, if Wario only wants the woods as a getaway, maybe he can plant his own woods instead of taking someone else's. Just saying. Oh man, really nice, lucky diamond drop there. Perfect color, perfect position, gets a chain.
Whoa.
Cypher finishes off Razor onto Tad Rock. He's about maybe 2 fights behind or so.
Yeah, I think Montucky just started this one, so
Cool.
Oh, unfortunately that chain that Montucky got earlier allowed Tad Rock to create a gem. And if he detonates that, it's going to slow Monty down a bit.
Hello.
Yep,
Ooh.
there it is. All those white bombs
Not
turned
too
into white
bad,
monsters.
Yeah, that,
could have been worse.
Tad Rock is in a
honestly.
very good position. Monty has to do something fast.
oh,
That's
and
not gonna
Cypher
help.
takes the lost Tad Rock.
Oh, that's bad. That's not what you want to happen when you're already behind, that's for sure. Oh, I think Monty accidentally cleared a row of 3 there. Or maybe
Yeah.
he was trying to get to that breakfast, I don't know. It's hard to say. And Tad Rock fails to clear the breakfast, creating a row of monsters just to slow him down further. Monty is holding on by a thread. He doesn't want this to end in a loss. He's already spent a lot of time on this fight. Tedrock clearing out the dark blues, clearing out the pinks. He has only one color left, but he is in monster mode. The AI is not very good at dealing with monster mode. Oh, that's it. That's it.
He gets
Very close.
Tedrock takes a win there. He's got one win on each of our competitors today.
Yeah, the swamp dropped the red bomb in the right spot, which caused red diamond to appear and a chain.
So the gap is closed a bit. Cypher's only about one behind now. What is a breakfast? So a breakfast occurs if you clear out two intersecting rows at the same time.
Just like montucky did right there.
Yep. And when you do that, the game will say breakfast and then drop an egg on your opponent. And that egg, if left unattended, will hatch a row of monsters on your opponent's side. Which is probably the most frustrating thing in the game if it happens. It can be very difficult to deal with that.
There we go. Montucky moving on to canyon stages.
It doesn't necessarily have to be with one bomb, as long as they intersect and the piece that they intersect on fell to create the combo, then it counts. So if you have a lot of bombs and drop one monster, that creates two intersecting clears, then you'll get a breakfast.
And cyghfer catching up. Not even the stage behind anymore.
Yeah, now they're on the same fight. Cypher is catching up. Do the story stages loop over infinitely? What do you mean? If you're talking about like round game, I think round game goes on forever and the stages start looping. But in Versus Com, there's a definite end.
Yeah, in round game, after you beat 255, it's just 255 again.
Uh-huh. And I know in the NES version, I think after you clear 100 or something like that, it like just gives you the same 10 stages over and over again.
So is that why like the round game speed runs just 1 to 99?
Yep, because there is technically like no end to the game, and runs at
You get the
255
credits.
is oppressively long.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that about round game where my mom kept trying to get farther in round game and it just kept repeating itself because she was on 255. She's like, I don't know why it won't keep going on. It's like, you finished it, you can stop now.
It's okay, it's over, you're free.
You destroyed the woods, it's over.
Wario doesn't have a second castle to find.
Cool.
Oh, very nice chain from montucky. Ooh, another one.
Filling up Thak's screen and then finishes it off with a swamp.
Yeah.
He wins. On to Lizardon. On to Charizard.
Yeah, 255 is a nice round number. FF in Hex.
Very full number.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, it is FF.
Cool.
No, FF is 255, not 256.
Because 0 counts as a number.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, 256 would be 100 in hexadecimals.
Photoshop from hex codes for colors. I always think of Toad when Toad kicks something. He's just like kicking it because you usually don't use the kick too often in a speed run. He's just kicking it out of rage. Like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'm going to kick it away from me.
The kick is a very helpful move to have in your arsenal, but it is situational. It doesn't come up very often that it helps, but in those situations where it does help, it's really good to know. Again, Monty, knowing his bomb order, knowing that the green came up and was going to be immediately followed by a red. It's a nice breakfast there.
Nice breakfast. And Lizardon just stares at that egg.
They certainly could have done that. But, I mean, I don't know, maybe they thought no one was going to get that far.
Alright, basic mechanics of the game. So, your cursor, unlike other puzzle games, your cursor can't move through the blocks. You're playing as Toad, you have to move them around. You have to pick up the monsters and match them with a bomb. So you can match two monsters with one bomb is the lowest amount you can have. So to make a 3. Obviously, if you match more, if you match a total of 5 things together, so usually 4 monsters and a bomb, you will make a diamond. A diamond, when matched up with anything, it acts like a bomb. It will clear out all the color of monsters from your side, and change the bombs on your opponent's side to monsters.
Yep, and to win the game, you have to clear out all the monsters on your side, or fill up your opponent's screen so they have nowhere to go. Early on, you're going to see a lot more of them trying to clear out their whole puzzle because there are fewer monsters, but later on, as the boards start more full, it's more appealing to try and crush your opponent instead.
Woohoo, Monty just
That was close.
barely getting the win.
I guess you are fighting for survival, so you don't end up crushed by a giant thwomp and suffocated by bombs and monsters.
Cool.
Just think about that. If you lose by crushing, it's like you are in this tiny space, and then your fairy friend accidentally tries to create a bomb out of thin air inside your body.
If you make a combo happen, your opponent's screen will have a column of monsters added to it. So if you clear a 2 combo, it gets 1 stack of monsters. If you clear 3, then your opponent gets 2 stacks of monsters. So it can fill up their screen very fast, but if the opponent's smart enough to clear it, then usually, if they clear it right, they'll get a gem, so it can turn back on you very quickly, like most puzzle games where if you send garbage to your opponent, it makes more pieces for them to work with later.
Yes, and the thwomp at the top, you can lower the thwomp on your opponent's side by clearing 4 in a row or more. If you clear 4 in a row, the thwomp will drop by 1. If you clear 5 in a row, the thwomp will drop by 2. If you clear 6 or more in a row, the thwomp will drop by 3. And then you can raise your thwomp by making diagonal clears or 4 in a row yourself.
And yes, chains also can move up move the bar for between monster and bomb mode. Which is another mechanic. This game has a lot of mechanics actually. The monster and bomb mode, where at the top of the screen you have your fairy friend. When the bar that's in the middle that's moving slowly to the top, when that's the top, it'll flip over to monster mode. When there's a crow or a bat, the screen that will then drop monsters, and bombs will still fall, but a lot less often.
Raise your thwomp with this one weird trick. Wario hates him.
Also, the little bat. Also, the little bat is actually called a pidget.
Pidget.
Well, I think it's supposed to be, but the manual actually calls it a black bat, which I think is objectively wrong.
Yeah, but I believe in I think it's a Doki Panic. They call it a pidget.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the little guy with the
Magic carpet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the Pidget character from Mario Bros. 2, which might also explain why Birdo is in this game.
Yeah, because Birdo is also from Super Mario Bros. too.
You only see Birdo in Round Clear.
Yeah, in round game, like she's the mascot for bomb time, and then Wario appears for monster time. Yeah, I don't know. Whoever wrote that manual, I think needed glasses.
Doesn't Wario in Round Clear also doesn't he
Yeah.
charge the screen to make the thwomp fall down?
Yep, in round
Am I
game,
misremembering?
in round game, Wario appears in monster mode, and then he does his signature shoulder charge on the tree to drop the thwomp.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was misremembering that, but. Need rabid Birdo. Man, that would be something.
You can clear diagonals and straight lines at the same time. If you do that with a single piece, then that's called a breakfast attack. And it drops an egg on your opponent's screen that can spawn more monsters. Okay, so I thought she just got scared and ran away. I didn't see it as Wario knocking her out of the frame.
I need to look at this and play some round game sometime.
So it looks like
My card can handle it.
It looks like the gap is still about 2 fights. So Monty has maintained his lead. Neither of our players have made any serious mistakes in the past few minutes.
It's been pretty normal.
Yep.
Getting to the tough part in the castle here.
Yep, the castle is where this all can change. Again, I said it in the first match, but the castle is where runs go to die.
Ooh, nice breakfast by montucky there.
Mm-hmm. And DR can't do anything about it, so she's just gonna take the extra monsters. Oh, but she gets lucky.
Cool.
Monty's probably gonna have to clear this out.
Yeah.
And just needs one more dark blue bomb. Clearing out the color so that it's more likely he'll see the color he needs.
There it is.
Oh, that's an interesting theory, Yume. Yeah, I guess the words for pigeon and bat look very similar in Japanese. That's actually... I would believe it. Yeah, Alcat Master Cat. I think that's that is the pun at the heart of that pigeon dating sim game.
That is definitely the pun at the heart of Hot Tofu Boyfriend.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Montucky is 2 rounds up on Didar, and cyghfer is still on the first fight there. What changes with the difficulty settings? So there are 3 quote-unquote difficulty settings at the start. You can play easy, normal, or hard. Those just change what level you start on. So we play on hard because it's the shortest course. Expert mode is a separate thing. That's what they're playing now, and all that changes is that you start with a much more difficult and much larger puzzle than your opponent does. The AI is the exact same. It's just that you start at a huge disadvantage. Yeah, the guys in the bunny suits, they're so excited, they're dancing.
Yeah.
Monty moves on to Carlton. cyghfer is wrapping up round 2 versus Didar.
Very nice 3 chain by montucky.
Montucky's just not slowing down. He's beasting through the castle.
Sweet.
Very clean Carlton 1. That couldn't have gone much better, but he's going to get his red next, probably. No! The game decided now to break the pattern and not give him a red after a green. That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Counting on that. So he's going to do a backup plan, clear out those greens in the 4. There he finally gets his red.
If your bomb, if the bomb pattern resets itself, then one of his bombs got eaten there by. He lifted it up at the same time the thwomp started coming down.
Would it be easier to spawn with more pieces? No, because you can win a round by clearing out all the monsters on your screen. So the main danger here in the last stages of Expert is that your opponent will just clear their screen before you have a chance to do anything.
Yeah.
Sort of like Dr. Mario in that you can win either by forcing your opponent to lose or by clearing your own puzzle.
It was very close there on Montucky's side with
Yep.
Carlton. He almost had all of his monsters cleared out, and then
Cool.
Montucky got a 3 chain.
Yep. Again, as dangerous as chains can be, sometimes you have to do it in order to slow your opponent down because it is the most
getting,
immediate way to do it.
Getting a diamond against there. Clearing out. Just squeaking by with this with that win.
It's enough. Meanwhile, cyghfer is in a bit of a tricky spot. He's trying to dig down to those red and greens so he can clear out those nice 5s with the bombs he has. He's going to grab that red up there. Yep. Now he needs to get down to the greens. I think he might want to create a chain or something because Carlton's dangerously close to finishing.
The diamond helped.
Oh, no, I did.
He did break his line there a little bit.
It helps that Carlton is playing like an absolute idiot. As the AI tends to do. But
Yeah, I also just noticed montucky did take a loss to Carlton.
I think it was pretty quick though. He didn't lose a lot of time to it.
At least with these later stages, even if you do lose, it's usually fast enough that the opponent wins. It's not too bad. It still stinks depending on how far you were.
It can be brutal as that, like at the end of a long fight, your opponent just barely clears their puzzle out, and you just like wasted 2 or 3 minutes on a fight that didn't get you a point.
Hello.
Yeah, if I do recall, the previous world record actually did have a loss to Carlton.
Good chain diamond clear there. That always helps. Early on.
Yep.
Yeah, combining different kinds of attacks is a great way to effectively stop your opponent in their tracks.
Montucky got a key diamond there, slowing Carlton down a little bit. And getting some nice chains.
Yep. So, Monty pretty much needs to clear this puzzle out, but it's hard to do in monster time because more monsters keep appearing. Doesn't clear out the dark blues in time before a bomb drops. He gets hit with a breakfast. Oh, and lucky. Lucky green came out of that.
They got a lucky breakfast drop there.
But he's back to bomb time, so he's just got to race to finish this before Carlton does. And he's got it.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, cyghfer has Carlton down to 1 row and decides to finish the puzzle instead of waiting for that row to fill up. Good choice.
It can take a while, to wait for that crush clear to happen sometimes.
So even if you've got a guaranteed win in a speed run, sometimes you gotta just hustle and finish the puzzle anyway because you might save a second or 2.
And montucky almost got crushed. He just got out of it.
And we said it in game 1, we said it in game 2. here on Harry H's stages where the game gets insane and it can be possible to just get in an unwinnable situation because you start so close to the top. But a very nice diagonal 6 for Monty. Gets him out of trouble, but he is in monster time, which is not good. Not only because it creates more monsters, but because more things are falling in general, which fills up the screen faster, which can get you stuck if you're not clearing things out fast enough. So Cypher's in a pretty decent spot where he's got half the board cleared out, so he has a lot of freedom to move. Vertical space is a lot more important than horizontal space in general. Clears out the diamond, and gets rid of a lot of monsters on his screen. That's gonna help. Gets another 5 and clears out the greens. Is Wario the Queen of Heart now? I guess he can be.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
No!
Diamonds.
And just like that, Cypher's in the lead. The lead has changed. That one loss versus Harry might end up deciding this.
Yeah, depending on how Wario goes, depending on how that turns out, how the last few matches against Harry turn out, it could be that's it.
Again, we said it. Pretty much anything goes at this point.
At the start of this match, that Montucky was like fighting to get that diagonal clear, having to move to shuffle things around just because there's no room whatsoever.
Oh boy. Montucky, good. A nice lucky drop. It's always nice when your diamond creates a chain. Clears out the pinks, so he doesn't have that color to worry about anymore, but he gets hit with double breakfast. Can he get to that egg in time? He's got it.
Just barely.
Just barely.
That would have hurt. That would have hurt. He wouldn't have lost, but it would have wasted a lot of time if that egg had detonated.
We're playing with explosive eggs now, oh boy.
Yeah. Ian does a lot of shuffling to get that vertical 5 clear, clears out the white diamond, gets himself some breathing room. Meanwhile, Cypher's just waiting for that bomb to finish off Harry's second round. He's still holding on to the lead.
He was in monster time there for a little bit, but was able to work with it.
A nice 3 chain from Monty. Dumps a lot of monsters, filling up most of Harry's screen. Another chain. So if he gets some good bomb drops, this could be trouble for Monty, but yeah, that's it. You got it. Nice.
Just like that. Caught up, nearly caught up.
Yep. So Cypher is less than 1 fight ahead now. This is extremely close, and we're very close to the end of the game.
Yeah, we're more or less even right about now.
Cool.
Oh, Harry
yellow bomb.
Cypher side got a lucky bomb drop.
Damn, he's got a gem there too, which is very dangerous. That is a time bomb.
Cool. Cool.
If he detonates that at the wrong time, it could be trouble. And you can't use your diamond to cancel out your opponent's diamonds, but he gets through it okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily the diamond was actually buried a bit, so he
Both our competitors are entering Wario
Yeah,
seconds apart.
Montucky just barely squeaking ahead there. Hoping for a yellow bomb.
This is it. The end of this tournament. This whole championship comes down to a Wario fight that started with like less than 2 seconds advantage. This is crazy.
This is the woods.
Looks like montucky was looking for a green bomb, but didn't get it.
Both of them are not in great positions. I would say Cypher's board looks a bit better, of course, because he's got more space, but Wario is close to finishing the puzzle on each end. Fortunately for them, Wario is in monster time, which always slows down the AI opponent. But Wario clears out the blues. He's about to clear out the yellows.
He's got one left. Still one left.
But again, monster time is slowing down Wario. Is it going to slow him down enough? No! Wario takes a win against Cypher. That's terrible.
No. Alright, can montucky take advantage?
His Wario's getting pretty close to...
Yeah,
but he was able to get that chain up. Still not enough.
Wario's about to clear.
Oh, Wario's got one
Wario's
more.
got
Wario needs one more bomb.
Again.
Can montucky hold this down? I don't think so. I think this is it. Unless he gets a chain. He gets a chain!
Oh,
But it's not enough! It's just
chain! Wario clears just in time!
Now Cypher's back in the lead. This is insane.
Oh, if only montucky got that chain off just split
like
second
frames
sooner.
faster.
Yeah, that was a matter of frames.
Now Cypher's got one win on Wario now.
Yeah,
So
Cypher's
got a lead now.
got a decent lead for how little of the game is left. Montucky's just trying to do something here. He gets the 5 in a row, but another light blue gem, unfortunately. That doesn't help a whole lot. He can get rid of them both, though. No, he doesn't. He accidentally gets a diagonal, which means he's got to deal with that color for a bit longer.
Again, messing up that. I think he was planning to get that stack of whites cleared.
So a good chain on Cypher's side slows Wario down a bit, gives him a lot more of those dark blues to deal with. Oh, lucky bomb drop for Wario. Lowering the ceiling gets him a gem. Cypher's got to hope Wario doesn't see a way to clear that gem, because that's going to slow him down a bit, and that might be enough.
Montucky just waiting for that. There it is. There's that pink bomb.
Jeez, no. Yume, there's no way you can call this yet. Not against Wario.
Uh-oh.
Again.
Oh no!
No!
Montucky gets second loss!
That's terrible.
Oh no.
Monty's got to hope he doesn't get
Oh,
yousted.
and Cypher just got gemmed.
Again, Wario's got one more monster left. Cypher needs a chain here.
Oh no, it's Cypher
It's
takes
not a
the
chain!
second
Cypher
loss!
takes the second loss!
Oh my goodness! Wario on his A game today.
Earning that paycheck.
So keep in mind that we haven't seen this happen yet, but if Wario gets another win on Cypher, his one win will be invalidated. The best of 5 will be reset.
Yes, that is true.
The set completely
So
over.
yeah, a game over doesn't rip the run. You only have to replay the best of 5 against this opponent from the beginning.
Luckily, it's not a Pokemon Puzzle League situation. There's no two
Yeah,
here.
you don't have to go back to Harry. You just get
Gary,
to play Wario
Gary?
again.
Oh,
Mm.
oh no! Montucky got
It's a Yowza!
oh. And Cypher just
No, it's
lost!
a double KO!
Reset!
And we are back to even!
This is evened up! Wow!
Wow. Wario making things really
Wario.
exciting.
I
Wario
can't believe
just
we
showing
saw a
how
double
tough
Yowza.
expert mode is.
This is expert mode, everyone.
Ever a
Cool.
set tournament, I believe.
Yes, Energy Spoon brings up a great point. Like, these are the best players in the game, but they've been playing a lot of a very difficult mode that requires absolute focus. You've got to think that they've got to be a little bit tired here at the very end of the third game.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh.
This is by the way, this is why we didn't make finals best of 5.
Yeah, there was debate about making it best of 5, and
Oh,
this is why
Cypher.
not.
and cyghfer
Cypher
just
takes another
lost
loss.
Wario.
And Wario's in a pretty good position on Monty's screen even.
Just has 2 colors left.
And a lot of greens in a row. He might accidentally get a 5.
Hard enough.
Alright, Wario makes a breakfast on Monty's side. Monty clears it out. Cypher's got a full screen here, but he gets the red he needs to make a gem. Unfortunately, the gem is buried and not the color he wanted. But he can clear it out anyway just to put a couple more monsters on Wario's side. But Wario makes a gem for Cypher. It's buried though.
Montucky takes his first win against Wario. Just 2 more to go.
Alright,
Monty is back in the lead.
Both of them probably can't believe that the other hasn't finished yet.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen Cypher glancing at his, assuming his computer screen, he's looking to see. Done yet? He's done yet?
Well,
How are you
these
supposed
players
to
are
outrace this
freaking out
one?
right now.
That's the thing. You just gotta be really good. Like, and you gotta slow them down with chains and combos and diamonds. Like, I know my first run of expert mode took me about 2 hours. Like, about 1 hour of it was on Wario.
There we go, montucky with the crush kill. He's up 2-0,
Alright.
Wario.
Gotta hope that when you start out, you can get a 5 clear quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Cypher with his first win. Get a 5 clear quickly. Get a good color diamond. Diamond in a good spot, and it creates a chain to clear. And that's really how you need to do this fast.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, it's all down to it's luck, really, with what diamond you get and what color it'll be in.
Gotta give yourself as many chances to succeed as you can, and one of them will eventually work out. But you don't have a lot of time to do it.
Oh,
And Monty takes a loss.
Wario. He's not going
Monty
down
just
without
needs-
fighting.
Monty just needs one more win in order to take this championship right now.
Yeah.
That red bomb is buried
Wow.
over there, but
Cypher looking for a crush kill against Wario. It will probably happen, but Wario's making it tough. He needs that 5, and he's gonna get it. Yeah, it looks like he's got
Oh,
it.
and there's a
unexpected
crush kill.
chain. Cypher takes his
Oh,
second
oh.
second win is evened up.
Mhm.
Both just need one more win.
Monty's got a bit more ground here, but whoever wins this next race is going to take the championship. This could not be any closer.
Monty getting a chain and the diamond clear there to fill up Wario's screen.
Cypher makes 2 5s. Monty looking for the crush kill.
It's
Can
almost
detonate
there.
that 4. Another 4 of the blues will do it.
Oh, that's a
He
crush!
got it! That's it! Monty's
That's it!
won!
Montucky!
Montucky is our champion. The winner of the Warriors Woods tournament with an SRL time of 42:09 takes Game 3, takes the championship. GG.
Yeah, in the most exciting fashion possible.
That was one heck of a match.
Like, Cypher's going to play this out, clears his last puzzle, finishes with an SRL time of 42 minutes and 42 seconds. What a race.
Wow.
Wow, that was incredible. I will see if either or both of them want to come in here and talk for a bit.
Yeah, especially that last game at the end.
Also, thank you so much to Ichbin Mia for 2 months Twitch Prime subscription. And thanks to montucky85 for a Twitch Prime
Holy.
subscription.
Hello?
Hey, there they are.
Hey.
Hey
What's
guys.
up?
Hello, friends.
Oh my goodness, guys.
And he wasn't
What a minute.
I can't believe we both
Hey.
got Yowzed and we.
Dude,
Oh, man.
how did Wario just destroy both of us?
We
I
got whooped.
3 rounds where
Dude,
he
we got
cleared
whooped.
everything. He just
I
wouldn't
can't believe we
stop.
both got Yowzed and we.
Oh yeah, I don't know what Wario had, but like he certainly had his
we got
breakfast.
whooped. Dude, we got whooped.
Yeah.
He had his eggs, not just his Wheaties, he had the eggs.
Dude, Montucky, you had a really amazing start to that final match.
I did, yeah.
Your start was like, I don't think I've seen a better start than that. I was checking out the stream and my run was okay, but I'm like, oh my god, he's like 3 rounds ahead of me. Like, what the fuck?
I know, yeah. I had a really lucky start,
did,
and
yeah.
I slowed down around mountain stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like mixed emotions towards the end. It's like, oh, like it looks like I could close this out. Like, oh no,
I know,
yeah.
lost
I
the
had a
Wario.
really lucky start,
Yeah.
and I slowed
Like,
down
holy
around
shit, he did
mountain
too.
stages.
Yeah, I know.
But
I
so,
got the
yeah, I had like mixed emotions towards the end. It's like, oh, like it looks like I could close this out. Like, oh no, I lost the Wario. Then I checked. I was like,
Bringing in the
uh,
drama.
Oh man, I have to say that
Also,
was an
we both
absolute
had
treat.
really good runs in the first 2 matches. Like,
I
each
thought
of
so
us had a
too.
really good run. And then we ended it with that, like, shit pile at the end.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it was an absolute treat to
Congrats
see both of you guys
guys.
play.
Everyone in chat enjoyed it, and it was really sick. Like I was sad for you guys when you both died at Wario, but it happened at the same time, and it was like a fresh restart. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have an event that's coming up soon, but I'll ask you guys a couple of things. I'll start with you, Monty and cyghfer. You can go afterward. Overall, how do you think you played today with the RNG and just how you were feeling towards the end?
I feel like I played okay in the first and third games. I don't know what happened in my second game. I lost to the Ghost, which I don't think's ever happened to me like at this level of skill. So I was kind of embarrassed by that. It's like, oh, I just lost to the Ghost. This is pretty bad.
Sure. No, that's definitely happened to me.
I was like, oh, this is a great start. Could see where this is going, but I think overall it was a good run. It was played well.
Yeah. For my part, I felt like I played very well for my level of ability. I don't know. I had some hiccups that were my fault, especially I think it was the first race, Wario round. I made a very critical mistake, which probably no one caught, but I made a really bad mistake at the start, which just screwed me. But I got really concentrating very intensely throughout most of the race, and I thought I played very well.
All right, glad to hear that from you guys. And we'll leave it just with one question for both of you again. If someone's wanting to get into Wario's Woods or maybe just a puzzle speed run in general, what do you suggest, like tips, things when you're starting out? What do they need to look for?
You can go first, Montucky.
Oh, great.
I mean, I can go first.
No, I was just thinking. Well, the first thing you should do is join Puzzle General. It's sort of becoming the hub for all puzzle speedrunners. But if you're looking to speedrun Wario's Woods, cyghfer, I don't know if you still have these, but like your screenshots for the starting patterns.
Oh yeah, those are still around.
Probably, yeah. Probably during the race, the commentators noted that the patterns recur throughout the game. So learning those patterns would be a good place to start, and mastering the mechanics.
I would say that you may only pick up a puzzle game speedrun if you really enjoy that puzzle game. Like, this goes for puzzle game speedruns more than other speedruns in particular, because puzzle game speedruns are really just like, you're playing the game just over and over, and it's generally in the same way that you play it normally. Like other speedruns, like Ocarina of Time or whatever other action game speedrun, you're doing things in a much different way than you would playing it normally. But with a puzzle game speedrun, you're just playing the game. You're just playing at a really high level. So you have to really enjoy just playing the game over and over.
Absolutely.
Just play it a lot, and only when you feel like you're getting decent runs, then look at what the top players are doing, what maneuvers they're doing, because this game has a lot of subtle maneuvers that you're only going to get fluent in as you really focus on them. For Wario's Woods, you have to get a feel for the flow of Toad and seeing patterns in the board.
Exactly. And that comes to just playing the game naturally. So I think that's a great way to say it. If you really enjoy the game, play it again and again and again. And then if you feel like up to speed running it, just check out what some top players have done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was a really great end to the tournament, I think, and I had a lot of fun. So thank you, montucky. Congrats. And thanks to everyone who organized or did anything.
Yeah, guys, same.
Thanks, guys. That was a really good race, and I appreciate both of you for participating. Everyone else who was in the tournament. Thanks for Aaron, Karaoke, and FFR Pro for doing the commentary. I think they did a really good job. Anyone else that helped throughout the tournament, and shout outs to Feasel as well for letting us host this on Speed Gaming. Make sure you guys follow this channel if you haven't. And check us out. All the links are on the screen for Puzzle General. We play about just about any game you want to. So come in here. We'll say hi to you guys. But stick around. Final Fantasy 1 randomizers up next. So that should be some fun there as well. So
Nice.
Until
All right.
next time, guys. Take care. We'll see you.
Yeah, I guess we're signing out. Take care.
See you
See you later, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad now